Hi everyone, I am here with another true story from our God Winks at You book. Okay, this one is called His Eye is on the Sparrow and Me. Alright. Let me see, I think this one's got a verse. A lot of them either have a saying or a Bible verse with them. Yes, this one does. 1 Corinthians 2:9, which says, I can't never get my hair. I'm not good with hair and makeup. No eye has seen, no ear has heard, and no mind has imagined what God has prepared for those who love Him. Amen. So true. All right. For John Thomas Oakes, who spells his middle name in lowercase, music of the church has always been uppercase in his life. His dad was a preacher, and great old hymns were at the foundation of his musical education. Now he was taking day courses at the BMI Musical Theater Workshop, lugging his keyboard and equipment to coffee shop gigs in New York City in the evenings. The warm lighting and ambiance of Starbucks on Broadway at 51st was an inviting attraction for people seeking relief from the sudden November cold snap. The voices of John and his percussionist rose from the chatter of after-work New Yorkers and the hubbub behind the counter. He sang an R&B hit from 1972, If You Don't Know Me By Now, You'll Never, Never, Never Know Me. John noticed another voice had joined theirs. A nearby woman had closed her eyes and was absently singing along. The song ended to a smattering of polite applause. I hope you didn't mind me joining in, said the woman, saying she was sorry. No, no, said John, glad to have the company. Would you like to sing something yourself? She looked unsure. What are you in the mood to sing? Encouraged John. Do you know any hymns? She asked. John smiled. I cut my teeth on hymns. Name one. Oh, I don't know, she hesitated. You pick one. How about His eye is on the sparrow? For a moment she was quiet, her eyes averted. Then she nodded, saying softly, Yeah, let's do that one. The woman stood, allowing for John's 2-bar setup. She began. These glasses are fogging up. Her voice, strong and melodic, floated above the hissing and gurgling of the cappuccino maker and the clatter of chatter. The new voice caught customers' attention. It was a beautiful voice. The cafe began to quiet. The woman was now one with the music. John's keyboard accompaniment was one with her. The song became louder, not because of the woman, but because everyone in the cafe was listening intently. Work stopped. Customers turned. The cappuccino maker quieted. I sing because I'm happy. I sing because I'm free. For His eye is on the sparrow, and I know He watches me. The song ended, and the applause transcended to a deafening level. Shyly, she thanked her audience and turned to John Thomas with a soft smile. That was beautiful, he said. Well, it's funny you picked that particular hymn, she said. Really? Moisture glistened her eyes as she reached to shake John's hand, holding it, then squeezing it. That was my daughter's favorite song. She was 16. She died of a brain tumor last week. John looked at her, momentarily stunned. Are you going to be okay? Yes, I've just got to keep trusting the Lord and singing his songs, and everything's going to be okay. Within moments, the woman was gone. John was back to his playing, but his mind kept going back to the gift he had been given. God's eye is surely on the sparrow, but that evening at Starbucks, God's arm was around a woman hurting with grief. He gave her a comforting wink of hope and assurance and allowed John Thomas to be her God wink link by suggesting her daughter's favorite song. For years, John has thought about the dozens of other hymns he could have selected that night in Manhattan. God a lot of times uses others to help us. He does. Why that one? I refuse to believe it was just a coincidence, because it wasn't. That was a God wink. I refuse to believe it was just a coincidence, he says. God has been arranging encounters in human history since the beginning of time, and it's no stretch for me to imagine that he could reach into a coffee shop in Manhattan and turn an ordinary gig into a revival. Amen. When we suffer deeply from the loss of someone we love deeply, God winks our messages to the living, not to those who have gone ahead. At the time, it is difficult to understand. You hurt to the core. You wonder how you can possibly continue on. You are frightened by the uncertainty of living without that special person in your life. That's so true. It's like a state of shock in so many ways. And you don't realize, you know how they say, like when somebody dies, or sometimes even when you're in love with somebody, you see that person's face in everyone you look at. Sometimes, it sounds like a joke, but it's really not. It's really not. Because I've been in that situation before, and you do see that person's face in everyone you look at. I mean, somebody else would be like, you're crazy. They don't look nothing like them, but I don't know if it's just you're wanting to see them, or God's showing you that person and everybody, or you're just wanting to see them, or what it is, but you see them everywhere. It's all you can do is think about them and so forth. But God is putting his hand on your shoulder, consoling you, letting you know that our existence is not a continuum, but a circle, and connections to loved ones are never lost. Every God wink is another reminder, another small, still message from God that everything is going to be okay. Someday, you will see everything from his perspective, and you'll understand your loved one has graduated. You should be happy for them. They're not the ones suffering. We're the ones suffering. They're happy and healthy. They're now home. We're the ones that are suffering, and they don't want us to. It's hard. It's very, very hard not to. I've been there, trust me, I know. I know. Many times. But they don't want us to suffer, but I know it's hard not to, because it's hard to live in a world without the ones you love. But you will see them again. Your loved one has graduated. Someday you will too. That's what you have to keep telling yourself. Make sure you know the Lord and are saved. We all graduate one way or another. Amen. I hope you guys have a great rest of your night, and I hope you guys have a great night's sleep. Good night, guys.